Hey guys, today I'm going to discuss reading, the importance of reading, or maybe how it's not really needed for you, reading music. Before we get started though, check the links below where you'll find links to my lessons on musiclessons.com, as well as courses that I have, and also links to the gear that I use. I remember some of the first experiences in trying to read on guitar. I was actually trying to do it on my own. From the age of 14 to 18, I didn't have a teacher because I wasn't taking guitar lessons. But I started at 14, got into college, and then of course I was taking lessons. I remember going to big band rehearsal, and I was presented with a chart. And for you guitar players that have had big band experience, you know what's coming next. Every single beat, I saw a chord. Not the same chord, but different chords. Here's the problem. I didn't really know that many chords on the guitar. I knew some basic chords that we all know, the cowboy chords, the A minors, D's, C's, and whatnot. But I didn't know all these chords that I was seeing. Had no idea how to interpret it. What did I do? Saw the letter, and I tried to play the root note on the bottom string of the guitar. That did not go so well either, because I did know the notes, but I didn't know them well enough that I could sight read it. So the first day presented with that chart, not just one chart, actually multiple charts, and it didn't go well. And then I remember it was either by the end of that class or the next class that the director wanted to hear the guitar part. You guys know the joke. How do you get a guitar player to turn down? You put music in front of them. So what happened? I turned down until he wanted to hear my part. So he tried to walk me through and get me to play my part, and he was telling me about the Freddie Green style, just chunking through playing. Well, the rhythmic part of that made sense. Getting the chords under my fingers made no sense at all. And I've talked about this before with chords, and what I ended up doing was taking a big chord book that I had, big thick chord book, and drawing in how to play all these chords. I started to notice a pattern after a while and was able to find a way to get through the tune that at least worked. Not only did I have to read there, but in my private lesson as well, and then eventually in guitar ensemble. Well, my reading skills didn't improve very much in the beginning because I chose not to practice, drug my feet. It was something that was difficult. I didn't see a need for it because, hey, I was going to leave out of college and I was going to do the heavy metal thing. I didn't need to read the music. Well, I stuck to it, stayed in college, didn't drop out because I was frustrated in doing the jazz thing. I kept going and kind of getting my way through it. Then eventually, a professor of mine handed me some music to record for guitar ensemble. He wanted me to record, there was 5 parts, and he wanted me to play every part. So I had to record one part and then the other 4. Now with my skills in recording being pretty low, you're talking, what is this, 2005 or so? I didn't know too much. I used a program called Audacity. I had a little microphone. And I tried to figure out how was I going to make this work. I really had to get those parts down, and I had to get them right the first time. That weekend was a very long weekend because I kept messing up. What did end up happening was I got really good at playing all those parts because I took the time to actually read it. I wanted to continue to get better at reading, so what I had done at that point, let me go back. Also, I didn't edit the recordings at all. If I didn't get it in one take, then I went back and re-recorded the whole thing again because I didn't know about cutting and editing and doing all that. So I wanted to work on my reading skills. What did I do? I would get solos and just read solos. Solo transcriptions, read it. I would get real books, read them. I would read anything. I'd get violin books, saxophone books, although I wouldn't transpose it. I would just play it the way that I saw. The point is, I try to get better and better at it. And of course, I was also trying to improve my chord knowledge as well, my chord vocabulary, so I was trying to read through that too. My professor did give me some other reading to work on. So the question is it important? Well, over the years, I've played in some musicals, and I did find it necessary to be able to read. Also, if someone's going to hand you a chart, then it'd be a good idea to know how to read it. Not only read it, but you get to the point where you're good enough to decipher it and see connections, the overall bigger picture that can be made in order to improvise and create something over it. So in some regards, I do find it useful in that way, and also if you're wanting to compose. If you can read music, you have access to all these things that you can read and things that you can play, and then you can take that in order to transfer your skills into writing. So I found it very beneficial. Now for some of you may not have these kind of situations where you're playing and you're not worried about getting called for a gig where you have to be able to read. So for you, it may not be of any benefit really at all. For you, you may be someone who plays for a hobby or just wants to play in a professional way but doesn't want to read. And there's many players that don't read. So you don't have to read. It's a matter of what the bigger picture is for you. What's your intention? What are you trying to do in your musical career? And that will determine whether or not you need to be able to read or not. For me, I think it's a beneficial thing. I have all my students coming up focus on reading. If you're an adult student and you come to me, I find where your priorities are first, and if reading is not one of those big things you're trying to push for, then I'm not going to try to throw a lot of reading your way. But I do find that it's very beneficial. Let me know in the comments below if you find yourself in a situation where you're having to be at the top of your game in reading or not. I know it's a difficult thing on the guitar because you can play so many things in so many different places, but if reading is something you focus on in your playing, let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to check the links below in the description for the lessons and the gear that I use, and I'll see you soon.